Buffalo State College campus, where we are members of the School of the Professions. In our continuing program, we're bringing you something very special today, a program about someone we've helped in business that is doing tremendous things throughout the whole world, a place called Cats Like Us. Stick around, we'll be right back. Cats like us. Boy, that's really something special. You know, when people think about it and they hear me say cats like us, they begin to think about, well, this must be some place where they have animals that they take care of, cats and little kittens and whatnot. But this is not.
No, it's like cats, like cool cats.
Cool cats.
Think of West Side Story.
Yeah,
cool
that's good
cats,
stuff, yeah.
right?
So now, tell us a little bit about it. Now, we took a trip out to Cats Like Us, and we were very impressed.
We were.
And it was an unusual atmosphere there. Talk a little bit about what you saw and how this can be interesting to the people that are watching us in this program.
Well, first of all, Mr. Bell, I'm very glad we're covering this particular small business owner that's located in Tonawanda, part of Western New York. And it's a small business that had worked with the Small Business Development Center right here at Buffalo State and worked with Andrea Lysak, one of our esteemed business advisors.
Right.
And we are very excited about this business on many, many levels. There's just like a whole bunch of reasons. And we should start with the fact it is, in fact, a very cool business.
It is a cool business.
It's a cool business, and it is a store that designs and manufactures and handles very interesting clothing, and it is retro clothing.
Yes.
It's a period type
Period
of clothing.
piece, absolutely.
Period clothing, but the important detail is the clothing is made now.
That's
So
right.
that the design of the clothing and the other things they have, the accessories,
That's right.
are within certain periods.
They're applicable to today's
Yes,
living,
but the fact is that they are made today. And when we went and met with the owners of the business, we learned a lot more about the quality and the manufacturing of the clothing.
I was very impressed. They have a tremendous inventory, and the selection is just unbelievably beautiful.
It is.
The work that's been done has been done by very professional people.
Yes.
So that when you go to this place and you see what their inventory looks like, and the style and kind of clothing they have, there's no way you can leave there without buying something.
Exactly.
If I knew
know.
exactly what my wife would wear, when I would have bought something and took it home, but I won't be going out there with her and saying,
Yes.
you need to see some of these pieces.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't control myself. So thus, I
Yeah,
am wearing one of their
voila.
beautiful garbs. But very interesting. It's a husband-wife team, Cats Like Us. And as I mentioned to you, they did work with our center, the Small Business Development Center, in the complete startup phase of their business before they had actually opened. So they were beneficiaries of our business planning process,
Right.
which we can talk a little bit about.
Absolutely.
And then what's also very interesting is how this business model has evolved into becoming an internationally based business.
Now, it took some homework,
It did.
and it took some imagination and creativity, because to have the style clothing they have, which is period clothing,
Period, yes.
and its designs are absolutely outstanding from
Yes.
that period, which is applicable today.
Yes,
They didn't just all of a sudden decide they were going to do this.
right.
They did some homework,
They did.
which is one of the important features of business planning that we do.
Yes.
Before you go into a business, you should know something about what you're going into.
Yes, and Mr. Bell, they had multiple things that I like in terms of before they proceeded with their business. First of all, they are both Buffalo State College graduates
Yes, they are.
who have backgrounds in fields that really have worked to their advantage. Julianne has our business degree from Buffalo State,
Yes, she
and
does.
Andrew, her husband, has a degree in design.
Design.
So that's a pretty good combination.
match.
It's a match.
If they weren't married, it would still be a match.
Yes, it is. So it's a fantastic match. So they bring a lot to it to begin with. And then additionally, they did I'd put in quotes, intern with a local vintage store, a store that actually handles original period pieces, and they learned a great deal about how that type of store operates. In addition to that, they got a lot of ideas about the design work and the type of clothing they had hoped to carry. So I think that was very good. Then when working with the Small Business Development Center, they focus very intensely on the business plan.
Absolutely. And they tried to find, of course, what their customer base would be,
Correct.
who they would have as a target market,
Yes.
and what they would have to do to capture this market. Now, this is very important. It's still a part of the whole planning process. And these folks did it all in that regard. They not only did their homework with the design and the selection of their inventory, but they began to create an atmosphere that made not only their website very interesting, but the potential for e-commerce. Now, how
Absolutely.
important is that, Sue?
Absolutely. I think that is their home run strategy. I mean, they're great, they're special, their quality superb, their customer service is fantastic, all the things you want for a retail store. Friendly place, beautiful store, good inventory, everything. In addition to that, and I want to see this happen I want so many businesses in Buffalo and Western New York to embrace this strategy, that if it's possible to include e-commerce, and we'll talk
Absolutely.
further
We will
about
talk
that,
more about it.
into their business model, what happens is not only do they have their business from the Buffalo, Western New York market,
Exactly.
but then, as you mentioned, they have the world.
They have the world. It broadens their
available to them.
market.
It broadens their
It
market.
increases their opportunity to develop more revenue.
It does.
A larger base, customer base. And that's what we're all looking for. It doesn't matter whether or not people come from 2 blocks away to buy your clothing or buy it from Australia or China or Japan.
Exactly.
As long as money's being generated, that's what you're in business for, is to create financial activity by doing something you like to do. And this is a great double home run for them, really.
Yes, it is. It doubles their business, but it doubles their potential revenue, both ways. Because when you do enter into an e-commerce strategy, you had to devote very professional time, your time or someone else's time, to maintaining a superb communication method, which is also known as the intranet. That has to be top end. Then secondly, you need to have a strategy that some retail stores do not have, but they have to have,
Yes.
which is fulfillment.
Exactly.
Fulfillment is a fancy word for saying, how will we take these orders, make sure everything gets packaged,
Exactly.
gets out,
Now,
gets to the people on time.
Understand clearly, everybody that's watching, when you're dealing with e-commerce,
Good.
it requires additional record keeping.
Absolutely.
And you must be accurate, because the success of your business when you're dealing with e-commerce is not just to get new customers, it's to maintain the same customer base to continually do business with you because they like your product and they're looking for something else that is in the same vein as what they purchased from you the first time.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
It's fantastic, though.
So I like the things you bought, and you ended up buying one of the dresses, and we were just commenting on the fact that on your buttons you
Yeah.
have a tiger, which is one member of the cat family.
Yeah, isn't that
right?
interesting?
It is interesting, and the
Yeah.
dress is just beautiful. When you put
Thank
it on, I
you.
knew you were going to buy it before you left that place. So, I think what we need to do, we talked about this business and told everybody everything they need to know primarily,